I just wanted to say something at the beginning of this video real quick, just to hopefully save some people some time so they don't have to write certain things in the comments below. And I basically just want to say that this video will indeed be a plug, advertisement, promotion, or whatever else you want to call it, for the site CampingSurvival.com. It's not a review, it really is basically just a promo piece or an informational kind of video. I was contacted by the company and asked if I could take a look at some of their stuff, and so obviously they sent that along. I was not paid to do this video, but obviously the stuff that they sent, now it's mine to keep. So you could consider that a payment if you want. But basically, before people start calling me a shill or a sellout, I did want to say that this is basically an advertisement. And I'm actually happy to make it, too. CampingSurvival.com is a company which is under a larger company called JHL Supply. JHL Supply has been in business since 1956. The company is family-owned, and not only that, it's also veteran-owned. Tom, the president and owner, is a former Marine. So before they contacted me, I wasn't really very familiar with Camping Survival. I think I've seen the website a couple times, but I never really looked into it that deeply. And if you go to the site, you'll find out it's more than just a simple online Army-Navy store. And even if it had just been a simple Army-Navy store, that probably would have been fine with me. But the name really does say it all, Camping Survival. And they concentrate on camping equipment and especially survival equipment and supplies. And if you go to the site, you can see the wide variety of stuff they have just in the headers for the different categories. Paracord and accessories, food, water and MREs, outdoor survival gear, knives, clothing and footwear, fire starters, first aid and nuclear, and survival kits and emergencies. One thing I found interesting is that not only do they sell knives, they also have a section on used knives, which is a good way to save some money. And especially since this is a YouTube video, I should also mention that Camping Survival has a YouTube channel. And in fact, it's a very active YouTube channel that has well over 100 videos on it. Not only videos highlighting some of their product, but also some general survival videos. It's definitely worth a look. So all of that brings us to the reason for this video. And that is in this huge box right here. I don't know if you can get an idea of just how big this box is. But CampingSurvival.com has a monthly giveaway contest. And it's made up of over $300 worth of product. It looks like it's maybe over 350 even, but they do say over 300, which is that's a pretty good giveaway. And not only is it a giveaway, at first I was kind of dubious about doing this because I figured, well, if I do the video, once the giveaway's over, the video's not really going to be any good. But it's a monthly giveaway. Every month they do this. And so all you have to do is go to the site, put your email in, and you're entered in the contest. By giving them your email, you're also joining their mailing list. And so as I said, this is the box that they sent me. I'm guessing this is the box that the contest winners stuff would come in. It's a little bit bigger than what's needed, but you can see there's a lot of stuff in here. I've already opened it up and taken a look at some of the stuff. But yeah, as you can see, that's a good amount of product in there. And now let me just take everything out, and we'll take a closer look at everything that's in there. Here's something I just thought was kind of funny. Here's some of the product. I just emptied out the box, and the only real packing material was this brown paper. At least I thought it was, but I thought this was a little funny. Down at the bottom of the box is one little styrofoam packing peanut. Alright, here it all is. Hopefully you can see everything. There's a lot of stuff in here. I got a packing list here, so I can kind of use that to help me figure out some of the stuff is and to go through everything. Looks like there's about 28 items here. And this really kind of, it actually is sort of a bug-out bag in a box. Obviously, if you're making a bug-out bag, you're going to want to fill it out with specific things that you want. But this really does cover a lot. First off, it gives you a backpack. This day pack here. So you can obviously stuff that with a lot of the stuff that you see here. It also covers a lot of things, including fire starting, light, food, water, communication, first aid. A lot of bases are covered here. And now we'll go ahead and take a look at everything. First off, I might as well, since it is the largest thing and what you would end up using to put stuff in, this is the Rothco Deluxe Waterproof Nylon Day Pack. I'm not sure just how waterproof this would be, and it's obviously not like a $100 or $200 pack that you're going to get at some kind of outdoor store, but it is a pack. And I actually reviewed packs somewhat similar to this a few months ago, and I kind of took some heat for that because it really was a cheap bag, but it was sent to me for review. And the thing is, for somebody who can't afford to spend like $100, $200 on, say, a bug-out bag, think something like this is actually a good idea because you're hoping to not have to use it. So it's something you don't, like I said, you don't want to spend $100 for something you're never going to use. But you stuff this with all your stuff, put it in your car, and then in an emergency when you need it, you'll know it's there. So for what it's worth, it's a backpack. You also get this stuff bag, 14 by 30 inches, 35.5 centimeters by 76 centimeters. And I'm guessing that's probably water. It's water repellent, it says. I also have, I guess all for communication purposes, we have this solar wind-up radio, which is nice because it's nice and small. So it has the wind-up, it's got the antenna here, and so it's AM and FM, and it also has weather frequency. So that's a nice thing, and like I said, the size itself is nice too. So that's also Rothko. One of the most important things in a survival situation, of course, is water. This is kind of nice. They give you this military canteen with cup, and also a cover too. This, I guess, it's a commercial version, but it's pretty similar to the standard military canteens. At least the ones that I used to use when I was in, which they've changed since then. But we'll take a quick look at this. This is something I'm actually pretty happy to get because I think it's something. Yeah, it's definitely a commercial. It's a little bit lighter weight material, but same basic thing that you're going to get. This thing is a 1-quart canteen. And here's the cup, standard canteen cup. And you know what? This actually comes off as being a standard military canteen. It has the same writing on here, and it does have the U.S. on the bottom and the date. This one's from 2006. So that'll come handy for reviews, if nothing else. The closure definitely has a commercial look to it, though, on the cover. And the cover also has one of these little pouches for the iodine tablets. And they do give you Chloroflock water purification. These aren't like the tablets that I'm used to, but it's 30 packets, clarifies and disinfects naturally polluted water. Treats 8 gallons, 30 packs. So that can go with that. And as far as water being drinkable or potable, you also get a Life Straw personal water filter. This is pretty cool. This is something I've actually never had. Never had one of these, so I'm really happy to have one of these. Let's take a look at some of these bottles and tubes. Here we have ASAP 10 silver solution, immune system support, and that's 16 ounces. We also have silver gel, also from ASAP, ultimate skin and body care, cosmetic skin product. So these both use silver solution. Here we have fish mox, amoxicillin, for control of common bacterial infections in fish. Which are those? And if we want to get into something else other than your standard kind of emergencies, here's a couple things for nuclear emergencies. We have anti-radiation tablets and Thyrosafe, potassium iodide tablets, thyroid blocking in a radiation emergency only. Also have wilderness cards. These are playing cards that also give you examples of edible wild foods, so that can be helpful. We're getting into the food area, I guess, if you're going to be eating stuff that you find. It has a little chain on it, so you can put that through this little hole right here. I guess since we're talking about eating, there's a few other things. There's not a lot of actual food in here, but they do give you some. They give you this can of Bega processed cheese, and also this can of Dak pulled pork. Now, I'm very familiar with the Dak ham. I've never actually seen this pulled pork, but Gundog actually did a review of some of Camping Supply's products, and he looked at the pulled pork, and Camping Supply, on their YouTube channel, they do have a video on the pulled pork. And so I'm definitely looking forward to checking this out. It's kind of a nice alternative to the standard can of ham. So those are all real regular food things, but they also give you this big block of Datrex emergency rations. So that's a nice thing right there. Keep it going. And something which may seem kind of funny, but I think this is an underrated survival supply, a bottle of Tabasco sauce. If you were actually throwing some of this into a bug-out bag, you might want to use some of the little teeny ones that you get in MREs. But why would Tabasco sauce be a survival item? I think in addition to spicing up MREs and other like boring foods, this can also help to mask if you're out there and you end up having to eat some grasses, or maybe even bark, bugs and stuff like that, and you're mashing them up, and I think this would go a long way in making them more palatable if you have to really resort to roughing it. So I think that covers our food. We also have this Germ Kit. It has a biohazard waste bag, CPR face shield, respirator mask, nitrile gloves, hand sanitizer, towelettes, iodine prep pads, alcohol prep pads, and surgical scrub brush. So that's going along with the medical supplies. It's all nice and sealed up in here. And as far as first aid and medical supplies, there isn't like a standard first aid kit, but there is this surgical instrument kit, which includes two hemostats, straight and curved, a needle holder, pair of scissors, tweezers, scalpel handle, scalpel blades, suture set, skin holder, alcohol wipes, a couple other wipes, and a pen light. So yeah, it's basically a first aid kit, but it kind of goes beyond it and getting into minor surgery. That's really cool right there. And then we also get into light and heat. We have this nice compact size 12 LED mini flashlight. You know what, I don't know if I mentioned, speaking of light, I don't know if I mentioned that this radio is not only wind up, but also solar powered too, which you can obviously see on the package. So you do have the flashlight, which seems to be pretty heavy duty. You get the 12 LEDs right there. You also have 3 light sticks. Now the stuff in this thing really ranges. I mean, light sticks aren't obviously an expensive item, but you have you go from some inexpensive light sticks to a weather radio, a surgical kit, and a couple other actually high price items that we're going to see in a minute. And you also get this Luminade. This, I wasn't really sure when I saw this on the list. I wasn't sure what they meant by this. And what this is a solar powered inflatable light. Sounds like kind of an odd thing, but it's this light that you can, let me turn it back off, in the different modes, and you can blow it up, and it's waterproof and it can float. So that's another interesting item. And it covers your illumination, but also for heat, you have a nice fire starter here. Light my fire Swedish Fire Steel Scout. And one of the most basic items of any survival kit, the Mylar Emergency Survival Blanket. And a couple things I haven't taken a look at yet. First is this huge thing. You might not want to have this in your buggo bag because it weighs a lot. This is the Survival Medicine Handbook. There's going to be a lot of good information in here, survival situations. And this actually has a price tag on it of $43.99. So this is a pretty high tag item. We'll look into that a little bit more. And finally, going back to the food, they give you some food, but they also provide a way for you to get some food with this Compact Fisherman folding fishing pole. That's kind of nice. You can get your own food by going fishing and not having to carry a giant fishing pole around with you. This doesn't take up too much room. Looks pretty cool. So I think that covers everything. This is all the stuff that you get. If you enter that contest and you win, you're going to get a set very similar, if not exactly the same as this. And it's also a look at some of the products that CampingSurvival.com has. All this stuff can be bought on their site. In addition to the canned food items like these and many other ones, they also have MRE items there. You can buy individual items, you can buy complete MREs. And they also have freeze-dried and dehydrated foods too. And as far as being a complete set of survival stuff, I mean, it's just a giveaway. It's not really meant to be like, this is what you're going to take for survival stuff and nothing else. But it is pretty comprehensive and pretty complete. But the only things I could think that I would think to add would be maybe to add a knife, some kind of a nice blade, possibly a more standard first aid kit. I mean, this thing is pretty cool, but something that has some more of the basic kind of stuff, and maybe a stove of some sort and some fuel for that, if you're doing some cooking. Other than that, it's pretty cool. And like I said, this is just a very small sample of the stuff that CampingSurvival.com has on their site. And I'd just like to finish up the video with a quote from the website, from their About Me page, that I think is actually pretty good. CampingSurvival.com. It's not about the end of the world. It's not about surviving a hypothetical plane crash. It's about the satisfaction you get knowing you can take care of yourself and or your family in any situation, anytime, anywhere. So head over to CampingSurvival.com, and thank you for watching.